See. All right, good morning. We got the open here. NQ dropping pretty hard here right off the open. Kind of right out of that previous day high area. Oops. See how we do it this 15-minute 200 EMA here. See if we can hold. Buyers stepping in here so far. Pushing it right back up. We got FOMC today, so you know, after the first couple hours could get pretty choppy. Oops. ES trying to hold up a little bit here. A little bit stronger than NQ. Basically the game plan off the morning here is kind of see how we do at this previous day high zone. Are we going to continue down, or are we going to kind of come back up, maybe reclaim it, maybe look to push higher? Let's see, we got, looking at our daily chart on ES and NQ. Let's go to clean. Kind of trying to make a bottom here on the daily chart. So maybe we can get a little test back up a little bit higher, but we're kind of showing signs of rejection here so far on ES on the daily candle. So I don't know, with FOMC today, I guess anything could happen. But buyers are kind of trying to hold it up down here. Right off the 200 EMA on NQ on the daily chart. So kind of important level here for NQ in this like 24,000, you know, 500 area down to these pivot lows basically. So we'll see how NQ holds up over the next, you know, few days here. Because we do have all the EMAs kind of sloping down on the shorter term, the 9, the 20, and the 50 on the daily chart. Same with ES, we're kind of starting to slope down a bit on those lower time frame EMAs, so or those lower EMAs, I should say. So we'll see if we get rejections in this area and then roll back down, and that could be the start. You know, if we're able to lose this 200 EMA on the daily chart on NQ, that could be the start of a bigger pullback here after this massive consolidation we've been in since basically October. So we'll see how it plays out. that first 5 minutes is over. So NQ pretty weak on that first 5 minute candle. We'll see if we can go back up and like retest into this area near 800. Maybe look for a short down. The 2 minute chart has a ton of wicks on the bottom right now. So you can see, put this back to the 15. Go to the 2 minute here. We got some pretty big bottom wicks on the 2 minute on NQ. So buyers are trying to hold it up in this area. Nothing really that clear yet on what they want to do. Looks like it might roll over here. So we're kind of like rejecting this zone here from previous day high. So, you know, we'd just be looking for a move lower down to these next levels if we were to take a short, but I don't see any great setups yet at the moment. We're kind of holding underneath this 800 level. All right, starting to look pretty weak here. See if we can hold underneath that 800 level. If we get another rejection here, might look to take a short. And they're popping it back up here. All right, looks like they're going to push it back up. So no short. Jeez. Crazy. Quick little 75-point squeeze there. Kind of right back up into the 5 minute 200 EMA here. So we'll see if the bears can hold it down or not. The EMAs are still bearish here on the lower time frame, so that might just been a little fake out push up. Kind of have to wait and see here. I'm gonna go get some water. All right, they're pushing it back up here. So ES is right back to previous day high here.
Connection lost.
We'll see if we can push above that. See what we got on the news today. Nothing really until the FOMC later, so not a whole lot going on right now. Not really any clear direction at the moment, so nothing to do for me. Just going to kind of be chilling. That 15-minute is starting to look pretty bullish here on ES. Bouncing off that 200 EMA on the 15-minute. Let's see, we have 12. Couple minutes left here until this 15-minute closes, so let's see how that plays out. Pretty good push up here by the bulls. So that 15-minute candle has about another little over a minute left till it closes. So ES is looking pretty bullish for a push up to this pre-market high level near 6,900. We got 1 minute left until that 15-minute opening range is set. They are just pushing it right now. So kind of overall, the EMAs are kind of sideways here on the 5-minute. Kind of bunched up, so kind of wait and see if we get some follow through here, and then maybe look for a pullback entry if we can stay above previous day high here on ES. But they're kind of rejecting it right now. It's 15 minutes about to close. They're trying to keep it underneath that previous day high level here on the 15-minute. Yeah, they couldn't close above it on ES. And NQ is kind of right back into the previous day high zone here. So we'll see if they want to bring it back down now. But still no setups on my end here. All right, they're kind of starting to wick it here on this next 5-minute on NQ. All right, there's that push. Delete that. Oops. Nothing to really do here yet. I want to see if we're going to reject this zone on NQ or if we're going to push above it. So right now, like, the EMAs are kind of bunched up. Not really a clear direction so far. So we're kind of right by the 200 EMA. So same with the 2-minute chart. We're right near the 200. We kind of bounced off that 15-minute 200 here, but we'll see if we can get some more push. All right, looks like they're kind of rejecting it here. Pretty good rejection there so far. Kind of right off the 50 EMA on the 5-minute, and kind of holding underneath the 15-minute 9 EMA. So we still have this, 200 EMA on the 15-minute chart to look out for near this 800 level. But if we can lose this area, we could see a move down to 700, 600, and then possibly previous day low zone. Make that a little bit bigger. But that's to be seen still. Because that first 15-minute candle was pretty bullish, kind of on ES and NQ. We're kind of stuck back inside that range here for now. But these EMAs are kind of just bunched up on the 5-minute, so kind of just want to wait and see if we can get some momentum, a clear direction before taking a trade. If I had to choose a direction right now, I'd probably choose short, just because the 50 and the 9 are kind of aligned bearish. We're under that 200 EMA on the 5-minute. Same with the 2-minute chart. We're underneath all the EMAs. And we're under this kind of sloping down 15-minute 9 EMA as well. So could see some more bearish follow through here possibly. But we have this 200 EMA on the 15-minute chart. It's kind of the big support area right now near this 800 area. So got to break below that to get some more downside here. Obviously the first time we tried it, they wicked it right back up. So got to wait and see here. But But I do like that we're kind of rejecting the zone. If we can kind of hold underneath these EMAs, I might look to take a short underneath this 800 level. Same with ES, we rejected previous day high and kind of moved back down. Looks like we could see some more downside here. 22 seconds. Buyers trying to step back in here. So just kind of choppy indecision right now on which way they want to take it. It could be like this all day today with FOMC. So even though we've kind of had these rejections here, we're not really seeing any follow through yet. So basically just kind of waiting right now to see which way they want to take it between this kind of 800 to 900 area. See if we can break above previous day's high zone for a push higher, or if we reject it and move back down below 800, could look for shorts. But nothing to do yet. Yep, now the bulls are pushing it back up. So basically, if someone kind of chased this big red candle to the downside, you just got squeezed out real quick. And I've been there many times. So we got about 5 minutes till 10 a.m. ES looking pretty bullish here on this 15. Green candle. Depending on how this one closes, we have this nice lower wick. Starting to go green here. Could see a push. So yeah, this 15 minutes looking pretty bullish at the moment. So we got that pre-market high in NQ up at like 9. Let me see what it is. I think it's 962. Yeah, 962 and a quarter. So we're basically bouncing off this 800 level on NQ. which is like that 200 EMA on the 15-minute chart. So we got, let's see, about 3 minutes left on the 5-minute. See how it closes here. But they're pushing it. Just want to wait for that clear direction and then look to join in on the move if it looks like some decent momentum. Definitely would like to see this 15-minute and 30-minute candle close here above previous day high if we're going to be looking for longs. Kind of also have a little bit of like a little trend line here on ES. NQ is a little bit different looking, but kind of breaking this little, almost like a bull flag, push up, kind of consolidating and trying back up higher now. Just going to get rid of that though. So a good push here by the bulls over 900 on NQ. Hasn't really been an entry set up for me yet, so I'm just kind of waiting. We're getting up near that pre-market high level on NQ. Just put a line on that. Some nice push up here by the bulls. Kind of looked like they were going to reject this area here. So loud. It looked like they were maybe going to reject this area here with this red candle, but we didn't get any follow through to the downside, and they squeezed it up, and now we're getting some continuation higher. So it looks like bulls are in control at the moment. We'll see how we do at this pre-market high in this 25,000 zone. Let's see if we can get like a little pullback, maybe stay above previous day high and look for a long. But nice little bounce here off that 200 EMA on the 15-minute chart. You can see it's like acted as resistance, 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 resistance here. And then we broke above it, kind of fooled around on it, got above it here, came back retesting it today and getting a nice bounce off it. So all right, it's 10 a.m. here, so let's see what we get. So this is obviously two 15-minute candles is equal to a 30-minute candle. So it's a nice looking 30-minute candle if I just go to it. Nice big green 30-minute. So we'll see if we get continuation off of that. Get a move higher possibly here. This 25,000 area is basically where the bears have been kind of holding it down so far. So if we can get above that, that's kind of a key level to be watching, that 25,000 psychological level. So bulls really need to get above that zone here to kind of get some more push to the upside. It's pretty much just been a straight push up here since this 5-minute candle. All right, we're pushing up near that 25,000 level right now on NQ, so we'll see how we do there. I would kind of expect some sort of resistance in this area. Maybe we'll get a little pullback, maybe a push higher. But haven't really seen any good entries yet to join this, so they've just been kind of going straight up with it. Nice push here by the bulls. Wow. I'll make this zone. Where is my zone end at? All right, they're testing that 25,000 number here on NQ. ES is pushing above that pre-market high level. So I just want to be patient here, not try to chase this. Wait to see if we can get a pullback entry. But man, there's nothing, just been straight up here. See how's Nvidia doing. So I'm watching the 2-minute chart here on the bottom screen to see if we get any kind of entry opportunity, but they're just pushing it. See, they had this strong push, you know, above previous day high, and it's just been straight up. So big volume there on that candle. Wow. They're just pumping it right now. Just pumping. Hi, buddy. Hi. All right, we're seeing some sort of little rejection here near this zone above. Hey, bud, no. Hey, go lay down. Bye. Go lay down. See if we can get a retest back on this 25,000 area on NQ. So this is quite the pump. Solid over 250 points on that push up here. With no really chance of any kind of pullback entry that I saw, so just gotta let it go and kind of wait to see if we get a setup here. I mean, the only thing you could have maybe done is just take the breakout over previous day high, but you know, I'm not much of like a breakout trader. I like to wait for a retest, some sort of pullback, because you can get caught, you know, trying to catch a breakout and they'll rug pull you on it. So I'd rather just wait for a safer entry with good risk reward. Because even if you entered on this break, I guess you could have put your stop, I guess, like under the 200, but there's not really any structure besides way down here, and that's like 100-point stop, I guess. Even on the 2-minute chart. But now that we're like had such a big push up, it's like, is this pullback gonna hold, you know? But I'm gonna watch this 25,000 level right here to see if we get a retest on it. If I see like a little buying signal, might look to take a long. But sometimes when they do this straight up kind of move, sometimes you'll get a straight down. So just got to be careful, because there's not really any structure here, you know, on this move up. It's just straight up. So just got to be careful. And the 5 minutes looking, you know, a bit extended from the 9 EMA as well. So, you know, yesterday I took that long yesterday on the 2-minute chart. Kind of similar situation. We had to push up, try to take the first kind of pullback on the 2-minute, and it just kind of chopped and pulled back more and took the loss on it. So if we're looking really extended on the 5-minute, it's like maybe you have to wait for a bigger pullback. But if we can get a retest on this 25,000 area, we kind of got close here, but I want to see a little bit more. Massive move up there though. So could see, you know, a bit of a pullback here on some profit taking. We'll see if we can hold this zone on a pullback and maybe look for a long. Kind of look at the 2 and the 5 next to each other. I mean, at least want to wait for this 2-minute 9 EMA to catch up. All right, now it's pulling back here. Might need to give this thing some time to kind of build. Kind of right off that 25,000 level right now. It's just tough getting long now after this such a strong move up way up here. Here's my accounts. I haven't taken any trades yet today, but they're down like $600 and $500 overall on them. So this is day 3 on these bottom 2, and I think it's day 4 on this top one, I believe. Just some evals with Lucid. So we're starting to see a little bit of a bounce here. Again, though, it's like, after such a strong move, is this thing going to hold up on this little pullback here? I mean, it might. Kind of bouncing off that 25,000 level. I was hoping we can get at least a red 5-minute candle on the pullback, but they're already pushing it right back up. ES did get a little red candle on the 5-minute. So NQ kind of strengthening a little bit here. All right, here's a new 2-minute. If we can kind of wick down here, I might look to take a long. This 5-minute's already green. See if we can get a little deeper pullback on this wick. Maybe test this previous candle high. I like this 5-minute look. We're just like a little bit extended still is the only thing. I just don't love entering at the highs here. But buyers are responding here right at that 25,000 level. About to get a new 5-minute here and new 15 as well. And there it goes. I mean, I don't know. Not much of a pullback there. I was hoping for a little bit more of a consolidation. But if we break that 50 level, maybe we get a move up to the 100 level. So I'm going to wait here. I don't want to enter too far from this 9 EMA on the 2-minute. So I'm just going to be patient and wait and see if we get another pullback to it and just kind of continue this move. Sometimes we'll make like a high here and then it'll come back again for a second entry for a long. I just don't want to chase this up here. Here's my next level, 60. Well, I think yesterday kind of scarred me from taking this trade. It was kind of a very similar setup to yesterday. when I took the loss. Let's see. 2-minute chart yesterday. Very similar looking setup. Had the strong push, kind of a little pullback. Didn't work out yesterday. Today, it's working so far. But we're also at a new high a day here. Yesterday we had that high a day resistance to the left. So a little bit different overall picture on this one. Actually go back to the 5 as well. So there's a lot, there's a lot of room up on NQ. If we break this zone here, got some room up to this intraday resistance, like 260 area, probably 200 to 260. So this 15-minute is looking pretty good so far. All right, we'll see if we can get this little pullback here that I was kind of talking about, where you make the new high and then you come back to the 9. If you kind of miss this entry on these little quicker pullbacks, a lot of times they'll pull back again to give you another shot at it. Kind of stop out some late longs and then maybe keep going. But we are kind of right into this zone, so just got to be careful. Oh, I got to show the screen. Yeah, see that? We still got new highs out of this pullback, but just not getting that great follow through so far. Now this 5 minutes kind of wicking. So we might see a deeper pullback now. Maybe go retest this 25,000 level again, possibly. We'll see. New 5 minute here. It looks like it needs to kind of pull back a little bit, but a nice little, if you just took the long rate at 25,000 and take it off at the next zone, could have been a nice little trade. But yeah, ES also looking like it needs to pull back a little bit on this 5 minute here. Just kind of bodies are shrinking. We got some upper wicks. It looks like it needs to pull back. Will it? I don't know, but just kind of stops me from getting long up here. It could pick up steam again, but the odds are it probably needs to pull back. Maybe come touch this 9 EMA on the 5 minute. But really, this is kind of that first pullback. Even though we didn't get a red candle on NQ on the 5 minute, we did on ES, so kind of counts as like a pullback here. First pullback after the strong push. So I'm usually trying to get in on that first or second pullback after a good push. Clear direction. So I don't know. They might just keep pushing this thing. I guess this is kind of that little pullback I was talking about on the 2 minute. It's just hoping for a little bit deeper, a little bit more time here. I mean, we're not even touching the 2-minute 9 EMA. That's how strong this move up was. Let's see. See if we can get a little deeper pullback here. Hold on, bud. All right. Yeah, I'm not taking a long up here. It's just slowing down. These bodies are shrinking. We're starting to get upper wicks. On the 5-minute, looks like we got to pull back a little bit is what I'm thinking. But overall, still bullish, but it just looks like we need to at least come back down and retest some levels before maybe going higher. But what do I know, you know? I don't know. We'll see. But we need to come get near this 5-minute 9 EMA a little bit more for an entry for me. We kind of had that little retest. We might need a bigger retest now on this 25,000 level on NQ. That 15-minute is also starting to look a little bearish here on ES. So we could be due for a pullback. Yeah, it's looking like it needs to pull back here. This 5-minute for sure. Let's see, we got less than 5 minutes for this 15-minute candle to close. 10:30, so it'll be a new 30-minute candle as well. The 30-minute will probably end up being pretty bullish still, I would guess. So, but the 15 on ES here is looking like it wants to pull back a bit. So maybe we get a retest of this 69.04 pre-market high level on ES. It's looking like that could possibly happen. These bulls are kind of just holding it up here though so far. Not really anything for me to do still, like not any great setups. I mean, it looks like it might squeeze higher now. Kind of got that first red candle on NQ, but I would just prefer a little bit deeper of a test. Obviously, if it's a really strong market, you don't get much of a pullback. And this move up was pretty damn strong, so trying to talk myself into a long right now, I guess. But we got this previous low here that we're at on NQ. So if we can kind of get back above this zone, I mean, who knows how high we can go. But we do have FOMC today still, so want to keep that in mind. A little bit later in the morning here, things will probably start to slow down. Get that chop before the FOMC. All right, so 10:30 is coming here. Kind of have like a little bit of like a little bull flag, I guess you could say, but like I said, I just prefer to enter a little bit closer to this 9 EMA on the 5-minute after such a big move. All right, about another minute here until 10:30. Still no trades for me yet today. Just never really got any pullbacks that I liked for a long here on this push. So just trying to be patient here and wait for a quality setup that I like. So right now, I mean, obviously we're bullish, but we already had a huge move up. So, you know, it could just chop here until FOMC now at this point. We're definitely starting to slow down here on this push, though. I mean, you can see the candle bodies are shrinking. So it's either a pause, maybe a little deeper pullback. Either way, the momentum has slowed, so we'll see if they want to pull it back or if they're going to continue it higher. But right now, we're just kind of in a consolidation period. A little slowdown, a little sideways action. Let's see, we got new 15-minute candle. Kind of indecision on ES. And kind of a smaller body green candle on NQ. Looks like they're starting to pull back a bit here. On NQ, we're kind of rejecting that zone here. So far, we'll see. Could definitely see a quick move down here, this 9 EMA and that 25,000 number on NQ. Kind of rejecting here. All right, we're getting that pullback now. Looks like we're probably going to go down and test that 9 EMA on the 5-minute chart. Would be my guess. Kind of down near that 25,000 psychological level. Excuse me. All right, NQ's dropping here. So I didn't really love, trying to take a long. I mean, this one could have worked out for a little scalp up to the next zone. But, man, after this huge move up, it's tough to get long without like a proper pullback. This pullback might just keep pulling back too after this kind of push. Seen NQ and ES do that many times where you get that strong push and then they just reverse the whole thing back down. It's looking like we're going to get that pullback to this 9 EMA here on the 5 minute. So we'll see how we do on that. Pretty good red candle close there. See if we get some continuation on it down to that 9 EMA and that 25,000 level on the 5 minute. One sec. The dog. Hi, buddy. Come on. All right, there's that. Getting a little bounce here from the bulls. Bulls are pushing it back up. We didn't quite get down to the 9 yet. So anyone who kind of chased this, red candle is feeling a little bit of pressure right now on this push back up. But I would honestly prefer a little bit deeper of a pullback here still. Or obviously if we end up losing this 9 EMA with some force, maybe lose that 25,000, then we can maybe look for a short back down. So I'm kind of open to either. After such a strong move up, I wouldn't mind you know, a reversal back down, but I'm not calling a reversal, just kind of open to whatever happens here. ES kind of tapped off that 9 EMA on the 5 minute, very close to it, a little bit closer than NQ. So that kind of helps to give a little bit more confidence for taking a long on NQ, since ES kind of got close to it. See, we're kind of forming a little bit of a bull flag here on ES. NQ is a little bit lagging a little bit on this pushback up. ES already made a new high on the 5 minute from the previous 5 minute candle. NQ, we're kind of still at that, you know, 25060 level. So ES is looking pretty good here. If we can get back over this 60 level on NQ, it might look to take a long here. All right, here's a new 5 minute. Now the bulls are pushing here. Got back above that 60 level and they're kind of pushing it. New highs here on NQ. Didn't really see any great entry yet for me. Like, I know we engulfed this previous 5 minute candle here, but I guess if you take that trade, where's your stop's going to be way down here. So it's kind of a wide stop. So I'd rather wait for a little pullback. Maybe get an entry on the 2 minute here. See, we're kind of rejecting the highs so far. But I mean, even if you took that long over 60 again, it would have been a decent little scalp up to the new highs. Kind of watching this 2 minute chart for a pullback here. See if we can get like a retest on that 60 level. Or are they just going to go with it? All right, here's a little pullback, but now the 5 minutes kind of having a big wick here at the moment, so I'm gonna hold off for now. See if we can hold that that 60 level. Not a great start for this 5 minute candle. Got a couple minutes, less than 2 minutes left on it actually, so rejecting those highs so far. But a lot of times they'll trap, you know, the breakout traders first, then bring it back down and then go back up with it. So just got to be careful here. We're kind of just been going sideways here. All right, the 2 minute kind of had a little lower wick there right on that 60 level. Let's see, we got less than a minute here. All right, we are kind of trying to bounce off that 60 level on the 2 minute. We got a new 15 minute candle coming here, so I'm going to wait, see what this 15 minute, see if we maybe get a little wick down on that 60 area. I want to see it hold above if I'm taking a long here. But the 5 minute did close above the previous like bodies here. Wasn't the strongest candle, but it did close above it. Same with the 15. Closed above that 60 level. So we'll see here if we can hold. If we can't hold it, it's probably going to come right back down near this 9 EMA. But it looks like they're trying to push it here. Hold that 60 level. Kind of rejecting there at that previous high. So like bigger picture, this is still kind of like the first main pullback here. So like I don't hate a long right now, but we're kind of showing signs of rejection up here at the high. if I take a long here, my stop's is going to be right here, so it'll be pretty tight. So let's see. I'm going to put an order in right there.
Order submitted.
See if we get filled. Kind of bouncing off that 9 EMA. Oh. Looks like I'm going to miss it. Now I don't really want to get in if it comes back down here, because it's probably going to go lower. So I'm just going to cancel that.
Order canceled.
Oh, I didn't show that on the screen. My bad. So I had an order. I put a limit order in right here.
Order submitted.
After this candle print, I was hoping we can come down and kind of test these bodies on this candle wick, and then hopefully get in for the long. But it just didn't get filled. And now if it kind of like rejects and comes back down, like, do I really want to be in the trade? You know, because it could just go lower, right? So I'm canceling that.
Order canceled.
But overall, I mean, big push up. This is kind of like the first pullback here, right? The first real pullback for a possible long. Just, I don't know, for some reason these entries have been a little bit tough to get in on here. But now we're starting to kind of reject. Yeah, we're just not getting follow through at the highs now, so it's a little bit concerning for longs. We got a couple, like we got wick higher, wick higher. It's like, you know, if you got long, like, you're struggling to get a push right now. Buddy, hey, leave it, bud. Leave it. All right, there's another drop to the 9 EMA again, but like, I don't know, it's just not pretty looking right now. I want it to look pretty before I take an entry. Alright, we're kind of rejecting the zone, it looks like. Let's see if the bears finally get their way here. ES kind of broke that flag. Didn't really get much follow through beyond the previous high. Same with NQ. Now we're just kind of pulling back again to retest. So kind of that general area on ES you'd want to hold for the bulls. And then same thing, similar thing on NQ here. Like to hold above that 60 area. And if not, probably come back down to this level. So NQ still kind of trying to hold that 60 level on this retest. Coffee? Thank you, man.
Are you live streaming?
Yeah. A little bit of coffee here. Maybe that's the juice we need to get moving. Are they going to break these highs with strength now on NQ? It could be time. We kind of held that 60 level multiple times here. But, you know, this 5 minute, his bodies kind of concern me, kind of slow, and like, are they going to want to pull it back here? Could go either way at this time. Oops. Let's see if we can get, I like this candle here right now on the 5 minute. Let's see if we can come wick down here on this new one and then get a push. Can you give me a little wick here, NQ? A little wick down. Kind of the midpoint of this body, maybe? Or is it just going to go? Are they going to reject these highs again with another wick? But this candle's pretty strong here on the 5 minute. I like that one. Referring to this one right here. Sorry, I keep forgetting to change the screen over. Yeah, I was hoping this thing would kind of get a little wick down and then go, and I probably would have taken an entry there with a stop down here. But we didn't get any kind of lower wick on that new 5 minute, so. But finally got a pretty good close here on the 2 minute above a previous candle high. So maybe we get some follow through here. We got a few minutes till 11 a.m. But it looks like they want to take it higher here. See, ES has that zone right above here. So could get a move up into there on ES. The 4 hour. See kind of support. So we'll see if it acts as resistance now. This candle's looking pretty strong on the 4 hour on ES. Probably the same scenario here with NQ. NQ doesn't really have much though, like above this, you know, just 58 level here. If we can hold above this, I mean, we can get all the way back up into these highs. So. $15-minute chart, just kind of straight up, a little bit of consolidation. Now another move up here. So let's see if we can get a pullback for an entry here. I was hoping on this current candle, we were going to like wick down. I liked this candle. I was hoping this one would kind of wick down and then take a long on the continuation of this candle right off that 60 level. That was kind of resistance, turned into support here. Good candle here, continuation. But we're kind of just a little bit sluggish here overall. ES, like these candle bodies are just small. So it's not a great sign for like momentum. Obviously that could change, but obviously FOMC coming up later today, so it could slow down here and get choppy up until then. All right, we got 11 a.m. Oh. Stream's kind of going in and out here, but we got 11 a.m. coming here. So we'll have another hourly candle. So we're looking strong on the hourly though. A couple of nice strong bull candles on the hourly. So we'll see if we get continuation higher here. If it wasn't FOMC today, I'd be more prone to look for some more continuation here, but being that it's FOMC, this thing could slow down and kind of chop. So 11 a.m. We'll see what we get. I mean, again, like these candle buys are tiny. We're just wicking like above on new highs. Same thing on NQ, basically wicking. Finally had a pretty good bull candle here, but this candle again wicked. So just tough to get any good follow through right now. Who knows if they want to knife it back down here at any moment with these little bodies, just knife it. But, you know, the trend is still up overall on the day. Momentum's to the upside, so I don't want to try to take any shorts. Honestly, probably not even going to take a trade. If it, you know, FOMC. So, unless the momentum really picks back up, but we're still kind of holding that 2-minute 2-minute 9 EMA is kind of holding here on this little push up. I mean, it's been obviously really grindy and small bodies on the 5-minute, but we're still holding that 9 EMA here on that 2-minute chart. So I guess kind of just little scalps and get out quick because you don't know if they'll pull it back. All right, there's a pullback on ES a little bit. Trying to pull back here. But you can see the volume. I mean, the volume's just dying out. So, 11. Even like yesterday at this time, look at how much higher the volume was. At 11 yesterday, it's way up here. Look at how low it is right now. Even the last couple hours, last hour at least, volume's a lot lower. So things are just kind of dying down. So I'm honestly probably just gonna call it here because I don't think there's any point in trading anything, you know. Up until I guess maybe we'll get some movement on FOMC, but there's no press conference today, I don't think. So if Powell's not speaking, we're probably not going to get as much volatility. So I might just honestly sit out the rest of the day and just wait for tomorrow. No point in forcing anything, and these conditions aren't great. Momentum's dying down, the volume's low, candle bodies are shrinking. Like, we're still moving up, but it's just slow. It's like not really worth it for me to try to take a trade in this environment. So I'll wait around a little bit longer here, see if anything happens, but doesn't really look worth it to me right now. We're just not really doing much. Go back to the 15. But obviously we had this really nice move up earlier. There wasn't really any good entries on the way up for me. They just kind of squeezed it up. We bounced off that 200 EMA on the 15-minute chart, really on ES and NQ. The 15-minute 200 EMA held nicely, broke above previous day high zone. I mean, I don't know how you could have really taken a trade unless you're just getting long above a level. There's not really any good pullbacks, which is how I usually enter trades. So even like waiting for even like this ES candle on the 5-minute here, like it closed strong back above previous day high, waiting for like a better like wick on the next candle, and then for it to go red to green for an entry. Like, that wick is tiny on this candle. Same on this candle. Even look for a continuation on a 5-minute candle. No wick there, just tiny. So that's how I like to enter a lot of my trades, is waiting for like a good candle close, and the next one kind of wicks down and then goes. And you get in on like the red to green type move, or the opposite for shorts. Either that or zooming into like a 2-minute chart looking for a pullback. We're starting to get a little push here. So we're still kind of just holding this 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart. Getting a little push here. I tried to get in on a trade earlier on, I think it was right here. Was it here? I think it was there. I put a limit order in originally. I didn't get filled, and then it went up, and then it came down. It would have filled me, but I don't know. Momentum just kind of dying here, so that's why I just kind of pulled my order. But had I gotten in there, I would have put my stop, underneath this 60 level, probably at least underneath these wicks here on the 2-minute. Probably somewhere down in here, under the 50 level, with a long here. So it would have worked out. It's just kind of slow. But we're still bullish here overall. So anyone that's trying to pick tops, just keep getting stopped out. So, I don't know. If it wasn't FOMC today, I'd be a little bit more open to trying to get in on a long here. But we do have a lot of room up on NQ to like the next level. Let me just full screen this. The hourly. But you can see like we're back above this this daily candle low kind of support. So like the next area of resistance on the 1-hour chart is not until up here. There's like a little resistance here at this 260 area. So that could be a possible place to take some profits if you got in a long here. So but we're kind of just grinding up here. Yeah, it's kind of what I've been afraid of. Like, we're kind of barely making these new highs. Eventually, they're going to fucking drop it down pretty hard, which is what they're doing right now. So that's why, like, if you're taking these, you got to be taking your profits pretty quick. You know, a majority of the position at least. And then maybe you could trail this 9 EMA kind of structure. But I mean, it could bounce again here. But pretty big red candle there on the 2 minute so far. 5 minute went green to red and coming back down. Looks like the bears might be stepping in here. We'll see. ES is rejecting the 69.24 level. Back to the hourly. See that kind of previous support area is kind of rejecting so far on ES. So we might be turning red here on the new hourly candles. That 11 a.m. open. So if these turn red, I mean, we could maybe see a possible pullback a little bit deeper. But, you know, we're still holding the 9 EMA so far in the 5 minutes. So that's the first thing I'd want to see is a break of that in order to even consider taking a short. I'm not trying to pick tops or bottoms. I'm just trying to get a piece of the middle, right? At least that's my method. Wait for a direction and then just try to catch a piece of the move, piece of the trend. Don't need to catch the whole thing. All right. Oh, spiked. Bulls are still kind of just grinding it up here, even though they kind of had a little sell-off here. Not a whole lot, you know, of downside there. So, yeah, just kind of lackluster action right now after that strong move up earlier. Which is kind of expected on a FOMC FOMC day. So not surprised about this action right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they squeeze out these bears that tried to get in. Trying to pick a top, squeeze them out again. We'll see. That 2-minute candle is kind of pretty good size. We're still kind of holding that 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart on this little grind up, and still above the 5-minute 9 as well. ES is kind of a little bit weaker. Not doing nothing. Oh, looks like my stream went out. Why does that keep going out? All right, I'm gonna call it here, guys. Thanks for anyone who showed up today. I think looks like we had 4 total views, so all right, not bad. Oh, now it looks like they're going to push it as I'm about to sign off. But like I said, like trying to pick tops, you just keep getting, squeezed out. Even though it's kind of slowing, it's still going up. So don't try to pick a top, be a hero. Go with the overall current direction, current trend, whatever time frame you use. Wait for a pullback to try to catch a piece of the move, kind of the motto, at least for me. So I like the 5-minute. Also looking at the 15, and then zooming into like the 2 and the 3 sometimes. So, but yeah, we're kind of slowing up here. So it doesn't mean get short, but I also don't really know if I want to be getting long up here either. So. All right, guys, I'm going to call it here on the stream. I might still stick around just in case something happens. If I see a setup, I might take one still, but I'm going to close the stream out because there's not really anything going on here in the last, at least hour or so. So, all right, guys, thanks anyone who tuned in today. Apex, 90% off sale right now. Use the code Timbo. Really appreciate it, guys, if I give you any kind of value. And then I think Lucid, I believe, is 40% off still. So got that. So yeah, FOMC today at 2 o'clock. So just be careful on that. And I don't believe there's a press conference today. So it might not be as volatile as kind of what you're used to on a normal FOMC day when Powell has a speech after. So. All right, guys, I'm going to make, if I end up taking any trades today, I'll make a video on that just with my 30-day discipline kind of thing that I'm doing right now. So it looks like they're kind of pulling it back a little bit here. So, but yeah, not much for me to do. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to probably stream again tomorrow. So look to hopefully get some better setups for tomorrow, take some trades. So, all right, guys, we'll see you on the next one. All right, peace.